Stay hooked up. Yes. I'll take that upgrade every day.
When we're making that transition from the fall to the winter, there's still some reaction baits that work. You're not gonna just have to slow down and drag stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. From early fall all the way to, this time of year in December, beginning of December, I think when we started October this year, we were still having days in the upper 90s around home. And then by the end of October, we're having frost already. So it could be a real confusing time for anglers and the fish. One thing I like to do is keep it simple. To me, one of the best baits you could throw in the fall is a white spinnerbait. As far as a 1/2 ounce or 3/8, you really have to let the fish tell you what they want. I try to match the hatch as much as possible because this is the time of year all the shad are, they're moving from either the main lakes to the back of the creeks or the bays, or so what have you to speak. But before the Alabama rig, and even now post Alabama rig, a white spinnerbait to me is the best fall bait that you can have.
So for anglers that may not be great with a spinnerbait or understand the logic behind it, when you said the fish are gonna tell you between sizes 3/8 and 1/2 ounce, what are they gonna say that's gonna make you pick up a 3/8 versus what are they gonna say to you that's gonna make you pick up a 1/2 ounce?
Pickwick, for example, when the bait fish start moving in the back of the bays, they may not be all the way in the back yet. They may be on the flat in 4, 5, 6 foot of water where you may want a 1/2 ounce, or they may even be up in 2 foot or less where you want a 3/8. So it's really about listening to what the fish are telling you and about the depth that they prefer the bait fish are in. And one thing I like about the fall this time of year is you can actually see the bait swimming around on the surface and fish, chasing bait, busting on bait on the surface. So, you really have to pay attention to the surroundings and what's going on.
And a spinnerbait's not just a spinnerbait as a spinnerbait as a spinnerbait. You can change up a lot of different things. You can put that trailer hook on there. You can put a grub or a swim bait on there as a trailer. You can up the blade size. And that's something that people are gonna have to trial and error on their lake because like you said, Pickwick, some of those Tennessee River lakes, some of the Texas lakes, in this time of the year, they're gonna have bigger bait, whereas some lakes, you're gonna have that smaller bait and you're gonna want the blades to maybe be a size smaller or 2 sizes smaller.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I've learned about Pickwick is the smaller bait moves up first. Your thread fin or just your small size bait, they may be 2 or 3 inches long. And then the cooler it gets and the colder it gets, and then that's when your big gizzard shad moves in. And they're usually the last to come in, and usually they bring you in your bigger fish.
So, question for anglers, because I've been out on the water and I've thought the same thing. Sometimes, hey, we were told, find the bait, find the fish, especially this time of the year. You're gonna find a bunch of bait in a pocket, you're gonna find a bunch of fish. But then again, you are now trying to compete nature, out-compete nature, where your spinnerbait's gotta look that much more realistic to get a fish to entice it. Or do you find that maybe that secondary point near that bay, where some fish are gonna be coming too, but they're not right on that pot of bait?
That's why the Alabama rig exploded when it come on the scenes, because it was the most realistic type bait profile that you could have, being a ball of bait. And it is hard this time of year to convince a fish that, hey, this is what you need to eat. But, it's one of them deals where you just gotta keep grinding. It may even be topwater. You kind of have to be a little sneaky in your tricks, whether it is a trailer or the size blade, to get that fish to fully commit to your bait.
Blade profile, trailer, switching up a lot of different things. That fall to winter transition could be a good time to catch maybe your biggest fish of the year, maybe the most fish on a trip that you've ever caught, because they're all moving up, they're all feeding up for that winter, and hey, they want to be fat and happy when it gets cold and they don't have to move as much.